It might be the end of the year, but LinkedIn are still dropping new features. So let's take one last look for 2024. G'day everyone, it is Coach Michelle J. Raymond, and I am still coming down off my high from having spoken to Chris Doe and Anne Handley over the last few episodes who were on my podcast bucket list. So now I can tick them off for this year, and I'm kind of wondering, who should I add back onto that list for 2025? So if you've got any recommendations, be sure to reach out to me on LinkedIn or drop a comment on the platform and let me know who is it that should be back on my podcast bucket list, because it was just so awesome, especially Anne. I look up to her. Hopefully one day when I grow up, I'm going to be a keynote speaker and really follow in her footsteps, because as she said, it would be great to have more female speakers out there. So if you're thinking about becoming a speaker in 2025 and got some questions about it, reach out to me. Let's have a chat. I'm happy to share the experiences that I've had, what I've learned in my short time that I've started doing this, and how beginning on a podcast actually really helps. So I'd love to help people. I'd love to pay it forward. I'd love to make that happen next year. But in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the new features that LinkedIn have dropped. And it's, kind of one of those things that they drop lots and lots of little features all the time. And I am not here to tell you, hey, they changed a font or the edge of the picture now is rounded, not square. They're not the kinds of changes that we're going to be discussing today. But there are some key changes which I think are actually signaling what we should expect for 2025. And it's been kind of interesting for me. I'm still weighing up how I feel about these. And as always, drop it in the comments and let me know what you think about each of these new features. Before we go into the new features, here's a quick word about our fabulous sponsors, Metricool. If you've listened to my podcast, you know that Metricool is my go-to social media management platform. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome, and let me introduce you to this fabulous tool. Metricool has plans to suit everybody, including a completely free plan that you can manage one brand across social channels, analyze your results, and plan your content accordingly. But today, I want to talk about the tiered premium plans, and they are tailored toward businesses and creator goals at a reasonable price. Some of the amazing premium features that are available across the plans are the fact that Metricool makes managing multiple brands simple. It's all in one place. But my favorite part is that you can connect multiple LinkedIn accounts that are both personal or company pages. You can also analyze up to 100 competitors to benchmark your performance. And a recent new release, which is making a big difference, is that you can connect your Google Drive and Canva and really streamline your content planning. Downloadable analytics reports that you can automate monthly make life easy, and there is just so much more. So if you are looking to organize your social media content, make more informed marketing decisions, and scale your online presence, well, Metricool is a must. But don't just take my word for it. Give it a go for yourself and see how Metricool can make your life easier. Listeners, I've got a special offer just for you. Go to the show notes, look for the link to create a free account today, and then you can use the code Michelle30 to try any premium plan for free for the next 30 days. And you can thank me later. Let's start with the first change, which I think is a pretty big shift on LinkedIn's side, and that is the changes to LinkedIn audio events. So once upon a time, you could go into LinkedIn, create an audio event. You didn't need any third-party tools, and the audience would sit there. They could participate. You could bring them up on stage really easily. Fast forward to December, and now LinkedIn have changed things. Effectively, I think they've pretty much pulled the plug on all things LinkedIn audio. Yes, you still create the event on LinkedIn and choose LinkedIn audio as the event type. So that part stays the same, but no longer do we have the tools within LinkedIn itself. You need a third-party software, i.e. the streaming software is the same as what you use for LinkedIn Live, and you need to connect that back to your event. So that means now for most people, you're going to need a subscription to tools like StreamYard, which I use, which I'll drop the details in the show notes if you're looking to try it out and looking for a small additional discount. It's an affiliate link, so I'll share that with you. So on the upside of now moving this off LinkedIn and onto the third parties, these sessions can now be recorded. So you can repurpose that replay a lot easier without some of the kind of crazy workarounds that people figured out in the background with the audio events. On the downside, though, it's no longer as easy for someone that's in the audience to raise their hand and say, bring me up on stage, bring me into that conversation. What happens is you need to share a link. They log into StreamYard, come behind the scenes and join the conversation that way. And from everything I've heard from my friend John Lacey about how that event runs, effectively, it's just your video cameras turned off in the background. If I have a think about this and I'm LinkedIn, it totally makes sense. I don't think that there's enough reward for effort when it comes to LinkedIn audio events. And that's not to say that there are people out there that love them, they love attending, they love running them, and they don't have a place on LinkedIn land. But if I'm looking at that and thinking, how can I monetize it if I'm LinkedIn? There's not too many answers that I come up with. So it's not their expertise. They've said point blank that they want to be an AI first company. And if you've got limited resources or need to focus your attention on where you think you're going to get the biggest return, then you're going to put your money every day of the week on AI and not on LinkedIn audio events. So that's the first change that we've got. Me personally, I'm not really a big fan of audio events in general. I did a lot of time on Clubhouse. So when I think about this change, it doesn't immediately impact me. And as with every change that happens on LinkedIn, there are lots of smart people around the world that will be trying out this new format, using the various streaming services to figure out the best ways to get the most out of these audio events. So I will keep an eye across what's being reported out there. Friends like John Lacey, Lynette Johnston, they're fans of that format. So I'll keep an eye on what they're reporting back as the best practices and come back to you, listeners. Let's get into the second big change that's coming through. And I mentioned that LinkedIn is focusing on being an AI first company. And this only impacts people that are running LinkedIn ads. It's called LinkedIn Accelerate. Effectively, LinkedIn Accelerate is here to maximize your campaign results by using AI. So it's going to help you with targeting. It will help you with creative, with bidding, and can automate a lot of that campaign setup. Sounds too good to be true. When it comes to the LinkedIn Accelerate program, I'm a bit of a skeptic that this is the be all and end all that's going to help you get more ROI on your ad spend. I don't understand how LinkedIn would really want you to spend less and get more. So I'll keep in touch with AJ Wilcox, see what he has to say in the new year. But, again, it signals to us, where's the future of LinkedIn going? Lots and lots of AI tools, tips. You see it over on your profile now. It wants to help you write direct messages. It wants to help you write posts, write your about section. So it's popping up everywhere and it's linked back to premium accounts. You're going to hear a theme run through as I talk about these different features. So see if you can spot what it is. Let's look at our third new feature that's come through in this quarter that I think is kind of cool and certainly generating a lot of buzz over on LinkedIn land about how people might use this particular feature more creatively. So when you go to your LinkedIn profile, there's a banner that sits at the top, aka your cover image, and I kind of like to think about that as the billboard for your LinkedIn profile. So it's your opportunity to really put up in lights what you do, who you do it for, or show off a bit of your personality. Now, currently you can only have one option, but those with a premium account now have the option to have up to 5 different banners. Each of those will rotate after around 3 seconds. So say, for instance, you wanted to promote different parts of your business or different offers, you will be able to do that. Now, for a lot of people on LinkedIn out there, and certainly the profiles that I'm rewriting on behalf of other people, quite often this is an area that's ignored and it's a missed opportunity. Do I think that everybody is going to go to the effort of putting 5 up there when it's hard enough to get a lot of people to just put 1? No, I don't. But I think, again, that it presents us with some cool opportunities that we can change these things. Now, for those of you who are wondering, is it coming to LinkedIn company pages? Yes, it is. And I'm very confident that it will be part of the paid subscription. So the company page premium option over on LinkedIn company pages. So here we are. It's obvious, dangling the carrot to try and get more people to pay to play on LinkedIn. These features are here to entice more people to pay for premium accounts on their personal profiles and also on the company page. So if I'm LinkedIn, this is a massive opportunity for them to do more revenue raising. And if I'm them, I'm all for it. I've got a YouTube video that I did a little while back because everybody used to ask me, Michelle, should I have a free account, a premium account, or a sales navigator account? And for a long time, I would have come back to you and said, just go with the free account. You can do more than enough with that free account to get you out of trouble for most people. And only when you come up against some of the roadblocks should you consider paying for your LinkedIn account. Now, that has massively shifted in this year. Now there are lots of little roadblocks or restrictions, or, is it the carrot or the stick? I don't know which way. But there's also other options to upgrade some of the features on your profile by paying for premium. So at least now there really is a difference in value for money between the free account and the paid account, which I think is a good idea by LinkedIn. I mean, realistically, we've had a great run on LinkedIn for over 20 years with not having to pay for a lot of these kind of features and functions and not having to pay to play. But I'm, again, a little skeptical. I just wonder how far this will go. I wonder where LinkedIn sees the line is drawn for these paid accounts and where it's drawn for people that want to start out on LinkedIn and trial those free accounts first and then figure out where things are at. So it'll be interesting to see. But for me, just another sign, pay to play in 2025. The last release that I want to talk about, I think, is a fundamental shift in how LinkedIn will run in 2025. It is a feature that has been on other social platforms forever and a day. LinkedIn are just very late to this party. We've had a really good run. I have to say, I'm personally hesitant about the future of the platform based on this new feature that's coming. And the new feature is that you can now boost personal posts. That's right. You can pay money to make your individual post be seen by more people, so to a targeted audience. I know that when I've spoken to LinkedIn ads experts like AJ Wilcox, when we talk about boosted posts over on the company page, he is absolutely against them. They're a waste of your money and a really great donation to LinkedIn. I'm super skeptical, but I expect the same to come from the other side of things. I expect that this is going to be a huge moneymaker for LinkedIn and really not deliver the returns that people would expect. But also for those people who are out there that think you can pay to play and skip the part where we have to build relationships, understand what content resonates with our target audience, learn the language that you should use to really get their attention. A bad post that you pay money to show to more people is still a bad post. So I don't think it's the silver bullet that people might think that it is. I just really hope that it just doesn't create a class system on LinkedIn, those with money, those without, because there are a lot of people that are just getting a little bit over LinkedIn as we go into the end of the year. Of those people that are kind of, gaming the system is how I would call it. All of you in engagement pods, I'm talking about you specifically. So where will boosted posts end up? Will January bring us a whole new level of optimism and enthusiasm as we start out the new year? Or will all of these pay-to-play features really change the feeling of LinkedIn? Not for the better. Will we see a lot of pushback? The way I look at things, at the end of the day, LinkedIn will always change. It is their sandpit. We choose to play in it. So the only real questions that we need to figure out is, what are the things that we need to do to learn how to do better, to speak to our buyers, to generate more opportunities and grow our business. And if the rules of the game have changed, we need to change with it. There's no point fighting it. It's not a game that we can change the rules on. So until next week, listeners, cheers.